Hello, I'm Dr Rosy Daniel, and I'm here to tell you that it's possible to survive cancer, even really serious cancer. The people you're about to see on this video are really wonderful examples of just what can be achieved through complementary therapies, self-help techniques and lifestyle changes. And what some of them have achieved is nothing short of miraculous.
I'm Reg Flower. In 1981 I had malignant melanoma. In late 82 I had secondaries, which entailed having all the lymph glands removed from my right side and armpit. And then again in 87 I had another secondary in the shoulder.
My name is Zoe Lindgren. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1986 while 6 months pregnant with my second child. In 1991 I received a second diagnosis of cancer in my lungs and lymphatic system.
My name is Michael Angelo Petroni. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, which is cancer of the lymph glands, in 1994.
Hi, I'm Neil. I was diagnosed with colon cancer in 1990.
My name is Sarah Parkinson. I was diagnosed with second stage breast cancer.
What these people have achieved may feel a bit out of reach for you at the moment. But let me reassure you straight away, every single one of these people started in the same place that you are now, feeling lost and frightened and confused and angry, and asking themselves, why me? Believe me, everyone who gets a diagnosis of cancer starts off feeling this way. You're not alone.
I was enjoying life like any other young person was, and suddenly my life was turned upside down. And I certainly didn't feel there was a place in my life for illness.
My reaction to being diagnosed with cancer was initially anger, because the diagnosis was delivered in a very brutal way and there was nobody there to say, how can I help you through this? And then a numbing sensation really, and disbelief.
Your life just comes to a kind of halt.
I felt like I was on a conveyor belt, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that's felt like that.
So how did these incredible people get from that initial state of shock to being the wonderful survivors that you see today? Well, in each case, the first step was deciding that they were definitely going to live.
It's a disease, not a very nice disease, but it is a disease that you can recover from.
I mean, I did all sorts of things. We planted asparagus, and I used to walk up the garden and speak to the asparagus, because, as you probably know, you can only eat asparagus after it's been planted for 3 years. And I loved asparagus, and we come from an asparagus growing area. And I used to go up the garden and looked at the asparagus and said, I'm going to eat you. And I couldn't do that for 3 years.
The next step was that in every case they realised that they had to take charge, get themselves in the driving seat and get absolutely the best of both worlds, orthodox and complementary, in an integrated approach. I asked Professor Karol Sikora, the UK's leading oncologist, for his views on integrated medicine. How important do you think psychological support is for people with cancer?
If one is just a passive recipient of care, just turns up to the hospital, receives radiotherapy, receives chemotherapy, is not involved, not interested in what's going on, you just fall into a sort of automaton existence. If you're actively involved, if you know everything that's going on, if you look for other things you can be doing to help yourself, if you look after yourself physically, mentally, and also the right sort of diet, then I think you become involved, and the chances of survival are almost certainly greater.
So there you are. Professor Karol Sikora says that if you take charge and get involved in your recovery process, your chances of survival are likely to be higher.
Following diagnosis, I realised how important it was for me that I was included in the talk about what was being proposed treatment-wise.
I've got to do things, not my wife. I'm the one who's the patient.
What these people did was to combine their medical treatments with complementary therapies and self-help approaches, aimed at strengthening them at all levels of body, mind and spirit. This is what we call the holistic approach to health, And really what it's about is making sure that we leave absolutely no stone unturned to make sure that you tolerate treatments better and that the natural defences of the body are revived again to fight cancer.
From the very beginning, alongside my conventional treatment, I had homeopathic treatment.
One of the first things I did was to contact an acupuncturist who was able to bring my low red blood cell levels back to normal.
Reflexology and some muscle kinesiology to make me feel stronger after the operation.
These are really good examples of how to use complementary approaches, both to cope with the side effects of treatment and to get the best outcomes from treatment. But once the treatment's over, that's when the work really begins to start restoring your health and happiness. Often with the holistic approach, a good starting place is to work with the body. So this is going to mean healthy eating, exercising well in a way that's appropriate for you, letting all the tension out of the body in relaxation, taking vitamin and mineral supplements, and also getting out to the countryside and breathing some really good clean fresh air. So to begin with, try to start eating a really healthy, whole food vegetarian diet.
Well, on the day of the diagnosis I became a vegetarian. I decided that I would do that much for myself immediately, and I supported that with vitamins and mineral supplements and herbs of many kinds.
I've got a large garden which we used to grow vegetables, so I immediately went over to growing all the vegetables that we would need normally, like beans, spinach. One of the benefits, of course, is no washing up if you eat straight from the garden, because they also stress the best way to have your food is to prepare it raw. And I was quite happy to do that, so I would wander down the garden, sit among my beans and just pick one off and have lunch.
The other key thing really was the diet, because my husband Paul and I both embraced it absolutely and totally and completely. And now people look at us and they go, my God, you know, you look so well. And we go, well, yes, we are well.
There are many very important reasons for changing to a healthy diet, but the most important reason of all is because within all plant foods there are vital enzymes and nutrients which are the normal way that the body is defended against genetic damage which causes cancer. These plant phytochemicals can help to slow down or reverse the cancer process, and eating a diet which is high in raw fruit, vegetables and fruit juices is the very best natural anti-cancer medicine you can take. At the same time as adding in far more fruit and vegetables, it's also important to detox and lighten the load on the body by cutting back on animal foods, animal fats, processed foods, sugars, salts, stimulants, and acidic food and drink. All of this should be replaced by the whole food equivalent. So, for example, eat brown bread instead of white, brown rice instead of white, and so on. The difference you'll experience in your energy and clarity of mind will be wonderful, and your ability to heal after treatments and cut down the side effects of chemo and radiotherapy will be greatly enhanced. There is concrete evidence that improved nutrition and supplementation can not only enhance your defences, but also that it actively improves the outcome that you'll get from your medical treatments. Exercise for you might mean gym or running perhaps, but when you're getting over a serious illness, it can be good to use the gentler forms of exercise like Tai Chi or yoga or Qigong. In this way, you get stronger in your body, but you also learn how to calm the mind and relax, whilst also rebalancing your energies.
Tai Chi struck me as being not only a physical activity, but also an internal activity. Apart from concentration, you get this tremendous uplift. The best way I can explain it is by doing this. And I said, and you take it up like that, you turn your hands over, and you go down again until you've reached an internal balance, like that.
The first time that I did yoga, I felt that I was back with my body again. It was my body. And I started to love it again, and that is a message that I would give to anyone as well watching this, is don't hate your body. because your body is your body and it's your friend, and okay, there's been an illness in it, but to fight and battle and strive, it's very confusing, I think, for your cells to hear that. You've got to love your body and understand it, and I even love, you know, my slightly smaller breast now, and feel affection for what happened and affection for the new me. It's difficult, it was difficult at the beginning, and I had to do a lot of grieving for my old life and my old body, but you move on from that. And if you can love yourself, I think that helps you heal. I really, really believe that.
The next really important thing to sort out is the mind. The two really important things here are to work on reducing your stress levels, but also to learn how to offload your emotions, either current or from the past. Both stress and bottled up feelings can really flatten the immune system, and to do this work you might need to work with a counsellor.
I was quite a volatile person. If I walked through the factory and seen someone doing a job and it looked to me as though they weren't doing it correctly, instead of explaining what to do, I'd say, for goodness sake, get out of the way, or stronger language, and do it myself.
Running my own practice was extremely stressful, and I never seemed to have time to be happy.
I was very angry at the beginning, and very angry about things that had happened in the past, and with an ex-boyfriend and things, and I found that it was hugely, hugely important to forgive.
You could sit in front of your wife or a friend and you would keep things back. You'd only say certain things. But with counselling, you can pour your whole heart out. And this is a fantastic thing to do because it relieves so much tension. I find now that I don't care, I don't mind expressing myself. If I feel that things are getting on top of me, before now I've had a good old boo. And it definitely makes you feel better to do that.
The other way you can work with the mind is directly, using mind-body techniques like relaxation, meditation and visualization.
Visualization has really been a part that I can't live without any longer. It's a very special feeling to stand in the sunshine, imagining that it is filling your whole body. As you reach your arms out, you can see the light filling the cup that is formed within the embrace. Feel the light filling up, and then slowly let it wash down through the body, cleansing away any bad things.
I just feel more relaxed with people. I'm nowhere near as aggressive as I used to be.
Meditation taught me that being fearful really wasn't necessary. In meditation, the body harmonises in such a way that you can cope and face stressful situations better.
The final common denominator when you adopt a healthy diet, exercise properly, learn to calm yourself and reduce your stress levels is that your energy levels will rise. This is really, really helpful because cancer itself is a very draining illness and the treatments for cancer can leave you feeling quite tired. So it can be very good to work directly on your energy levels with energy medicines like acupuncture, homeopathy and shiatsu, which is a form of acupressure. These ancient systems of medicine will leave you feeling very calm, refreshed, and your energy levels will be balanced and raised. Probably the most profound healing of all comes by working with the underlying state of the spirit. The spirit can be crushed or defeated by life or by the diagnosis of cancer, and sometimes one can lose one's will to live. It's possible to work directly with the state of the spirit by spiritual healing or the laying on of hands. This may be very unfamiliar territory to you, or you may feel skeptical about the value of this type of help. But over the years I've worked with people with cancer. Actually, it's been the thing that people have ended up saying was the crucial first step that gave them back the motivation and the energy to make all the other steps possible.
Now, I was a very sceptical person and I thought, I don't believe in this healing. It was even worse than the meditation, as far as I was concerned. And then one day they said to me, would you like to try healing? I thought, well, give it a try, but I can't see how it can do any good. And it was absolutely unbelievable. It was a lady that I now know very well called Eileen, who was a healer. And I sat down and she said, just sit and relax. And I sort of automatically closed my eyes. And I literally thought she had hold of my shoulders and was shaking me like this, and the warmth I could feel in my shoulders was enormous. I opened my eyes to look, and she wasn't even touching me. And I felt so well. I felt, I felt like singing.
The other way you can lift your spirit is by re-examining your priorities in life and changing to a lifestyle that really suits you, really expresses you and brings you fully alive and allows you to be the person you were always meant to be.
Apart from changing the diet, as I say, we moved to the sea, and I think that has been crucial to my getting better. The air is just so much better than it is living in a city, and I would say get out into nature as much as you can. Breathe in oxygen, touch the ground, walk amongst the trees, and you will get strength from that. You really will get strength from nature.
I'd always wanted to make a rocking horse. So I sat down and naturally designed my own, seeing as that was my trade, design, and made a few prototypes and finished up making one for each family. I couldn't make one for each grandchild because they took so much time. But each family had their own rocking horse.
Over a period of time we were able to find a plot of land in Wales, and because we're both architects we thought that we would realise the dream of self-building, trying to be as responsible to our environment as possible, to be green. It was like a coming home to find ourselves living in the middle of the woods in Wales. Here we are now, sitting in the sunshine on our balcony with a blackbird chattering in the distance. It's a paradise that's been very healing for me.
The healing that can occur through working at the levels of body, mind and spirit can be so profound that unbelievably over the years of working with people with cancer, people have said to me that they were actually glad in the end they'd had the diagnosis of cancer because it's caused them to come home to themselves and to feel happier and perhaps more alive than they've ever felt in their life before.
When I found I could relax more and hand jobs over to other people, I was paying more attention to what was going on around me. I could drive along and look and see a marvellous sunset, and I'd stop the car and watch it disappear over the horizon. I mean, before that, I'd look and see all the sunset and carry on thinking about other things. Or just sit in the garden and examine a flower closely. And you'll be amazed what you can see in a flower like that if you sit and study it, all the different things. They're fantastic things if you study them properly.
I feel healthier than I have for the past couple of years. I feel full of energy, I feel very much more at peace with the world and with myself, and I have moments of absolute pure joy and happiness, which I really don't think I often had before.
We've got lots of plum trees in our garden. We've got a nectarine tree and we've got a peach tree, and we eat those. And I think I go up there, and a wonderful asparagus patch, which is now producing a vast amount of asparagus. In fact, so much sometimes you say, I don't think I can eat you all.
One of the wonderful things that happens actually when you get cancer is that basically, how can I say this, all the shit goes out the window and you concentrate on the most important things in your life, and certainly getting stressed up about things that weren't important was no longer an option.
I'm not going to waste a lot of time now, and it would be wasting time, worrying about what might happen in 2, 3, 10, 15 years' time. Now is where I live, and now is wonderful.
Cancer did change my whole personality and made me a better person for it, I think. I think so. I don't know what my friends and family think.
You've now seen the living evidence of these wonderful people who've survived cancer by taking charge of their health and their lives. Now it's your turn to take charge of yours. For each of these people there was a starting place on their healing journey, a crucial first step. And I hope that in watching the video you've seen a step which is going to be right for you. But to help you with this process I've created the Cancer Lifeline Kit, which will help you to reorientate yourself and to decide which is the area to prioritise to make the biggest difference to your health and survival. The kit is divided into 2 main parts. The Cancer Lifeline programme to help you recover from your diagnosis, make your treatment decision and make sure you get the very best outcomes from your treatments. The second part is called the Health Creation Programme, and that will help you to work out quickly, with the help of a health creation mentor, the key changes that you need to make to restore your health. Within the kit, you'll also find a workbook for your primary carer, to help them to support you, but also to help them look after themselves. You'll also find wonderful recipes by Jane Sen to help you both through your treatment, to detox after treatment, and then to get you onto a long-term, eat-right, healthy eating plan. But now, I'd like to give the last word to these wonderful people you've seen on this video, so that they can give you their own message of hope.
Get all the information you can. Find out all about the disease, find out what treatment's being offered, conventional treatment, find out what else you can do, what's available in the hospital, what's available locally, what's available nationally. Become an expert on your own disease and yourself. After all, you know yourself better than anybody else. And above all, the cancer journey may be difficult, but if you're part of it, you're more likely to succeed than if you're just a passive partner.
It is frightening, it is difficult, that is the nature of illness. But not to forget, it's not just about the physical cancer, it's about you as a person, it's about your feelings, it's about coping with all of that. And not to be frightened by your feelings, they're natural. It's difficult to know that at the beginning, you know, but somehow you do find the strength, you do get through it, you find out things about yourself you never knew, but you just don't know any of that beforehand.
An important part, I feel, of surviving both the diagnosis and the illness itself is, as I've gone on and said, being positive. Cancer's only a little thing. It's nothing. You're part of your body and it's part of you. You're much more important than the cancer. People have said to me, which is best, health, wealth or happiness? They would expect me, I think, to say, oh, of course, your health. But in fact, because I had this emphasis on psychological benefits, I actually think happiness comes first. And it may be true that if your health is very severely challenged, it is more difficult to be happy, but it is the most important thing in life.
Use both worlds, go to both types of treatment. Use holistic treatment and use conventional treatment. Take the best from both. This is what I've done, and I feel very happy the way things have gone for me. Very happy.
Having experienced the cancer diagnosis twice myself, it's with heartfelt empathy that I offer you these words. When you're first diagnosed, there's a numbing mist that descends upon you. You're unable to find your own resources. You can't concentrate, you can't read, you can't focus. And I know how that feels. I felt very disempowered by conventional treatment, so it's important to act quickly, to tackle the cancer from every angle that you can, and do it speedily, right now. Cancer is a major call for a change in our lives, and the sun is just around the corner for you.
If you've just been diagnosed with cancer, then first of all, I send you lots of love, and I'm sure there'll be people around you giving you lots and lots of love as well, and strength. Don't worry, it's not the end. It might feel like it is at the moment, and I know how you feel with the world. Everything seems so bright and so sort of transient, but you know, there is a future. People do recover from cancer. Lots of people recover and still have lives. And you can as well.
I hope that these wonderful people have inspired you to take hope, aim high, and become a survivor yourself. But most of all, I want you to realise that the biggest boost to your immune system and healing ability comes from being happy, being fulfilled, coming fully alive by living out your dreams, and celebrating life to the full.
3, 2, 1. Get you to, where possible, to sing me on.
Well.
Life.